Chopin's Concerto No. 1 has one of the most epic endings ever written. But aside from being epic, these last few bars are great for another reason. This passage also teaches you everything you need to know about playing fast runs on the piano. If you learn it and you practice it the correct way, then you'll find fast runs in any other pieces you play, and they'll be much easier for you because you'll already know how to practice them. In this video, I'll show you why this passage can help you develop your technique to play faster. You'll learn how to practice it to get the best results, and by the end, we'll talk about the number one enemy of speed, a mistake that can cause a plateau in your progress and that you're probably doing without noticing. If you've ever wanted to get better at playing fast with confidence and a clear sound, this video is perfect for you. Let's listen to it first. Wow, it seems like a lot, right? Well, the first reason why this passage works so well as a technical exercise is because it's actually not hard to learn. You just have to deal with a scale, an arpeggio, and 5 bars of music. The rest are just repetitions of the same thing. So you won't have to spend a lot of time doing the boring job of learning and memorizing the notes, and you can go directly to the part where you actually improve your technique. And that brings me to the second reason you should learn this. Scales and arpeggios are the foundation of piano technique, and this passage has both. Besides that, unlike your average technical exercises, which can sound mechanical and boring, this scale and arpeggio sound amazing in context. Now, the problem with practicing scales and arpeggios is that you hardly use your pinky finger at all. Well, this passage is so well balanced that you'll use your pinky fingers a lot of times in the rest of the passage. Sometimes you'll even have to play accents on those pinky fingers, which will make them not only faster, but also stronger. And speaking of accents and dynamics, if you learn this passage, not only will your technique get better, but also your musicality. I'll show you how to make this passage sound amazing from day one. You'll learn the reason behind those principles of musicality, and you'll feel like a world-class superstar soloist when you play it. These are the reasons why you should learn this passage. And now we'll focus on how you should learn it. We'll have a look at everything you have to pay attention to. Technique, musicality, and also that number one mistake that you're probably making. Now, if you want to make sure you're practicing in the most efficient way possible from day one, have a look at the learning guide I created for you. It's 12 pages long and it breaks this passage into clear stages, each one with a small goal, so you always know when you're ready to move forward. It also includes a copy of the score with optimal fingerings that I use myself to play at performance tempo, and another copy with detailed dynamic markings to make it sound awesome. But before you go and grab it, stick around for a few more minutes, because what I'm about to show you is also very important. Let's talk about technique. First of all, I want you to picture yourself using chopsticks. If you want to do quick and precise movements with a lot of control, like grabbing a piece of food, would you grab the chopsticks here at the very end? Or maybe here, closer to the tips? If you want more control and precision, the closer you are to the contact point, the better. This is the same as the hammer metaphor I made in another video. So now imagine that your fingers are chopsticks. How do you think you'll have more control? Like this? Or maybe like this. When you're playing fast, close your hands and never stretch your fingers. Now, Chopin is actually setting you up for success with this passage. The positions are very closed with lots of chromatic movement, especially at the beginning. Everything falls under the hand very comfortably and it never forces you to open your hand, if you choose the correct fingerings, of course. If you download the learning guide, you'll find the optimal fingerings that will allow you to play everything with your hands as closed as possible and completely free of tension. So in case of doubt, just get a copy of my fingerings. Another thing to focus on if you really want to improve not only your speed but also the quality of your playing is being a very hard boss and making sure that not a single finger gets lazy and keeps resting on a key after you play a note. If you don't get your fingers off the keys when you play the next note, that'll cause two issues. First, you'll break the flow of the movement. You won't be able to play fast because you're allowing your fingers to slack off. And the second problem is that it will just sound sloppy. When two notes that are close together sound at the same time, it creates a dissonance. And if you create a dissonance every few notes, the sound will never be clean. So be a hard boss on your fingers and don't let them get lazy on the keys that you're pressing. In fact, there are two main moments where this laziness is very common. The first one is when you arrive up here. For some reason, the pinky always wants to keep resting on the top notes with the accents. This is what you should force them to do. And the other moment is the arpeggio. When you play an arpeggio in any piece, the goal is to connect every note and play legato, even when you're shifting positions. For example, this is a very bad way to play arpeggios. You'll never be able to play fast and cleanly if you practice this way. Now, if you want to make this passage sound good, playing cleanly and with control is just the foundation. But if we want to make it sound great, that's when dynamics come into play. Without dynamics, music sounds flat and boring, especially technical passages like this one. So, dynamics. Everything that I'm gonna tell you now is based on a single principle. Higher notes have a higher emotional load. And this is how music generally works. The moments with the most energy usually coincide with higher notes within a melody. Or higher sections within a piece. That's why when you play the last scale, it sounds like the energy grows towards the last note. Or why the second repetition of the first 4 bars, which is an octave higher, have more energy than the previous 4 bars, which are an octave lower. So our job as musicians is to enhance that. We'll play higher sections with more energy, and we'll treat lower sections as moments to catch our breath before climbing up again. For example, if I play the very beginning with accents on each first beat, it sounds stagnant and boring. Listen. It's like the music doesn't go forward, it doesn't flow. But now, same notes, same tempo. If I follow the shape of the melody with the dynamics, the magic happens. It's a very small change, but suddenly everything is much more exciting. So make sure you pay attention to that from day one. Try to feel those dynamics at the same time you practice with your fingers. And if you download the learning guide, you'll have all the dynamics carefully noted down in great detail in a separate copy. So always make sure you create music with those fast notes. That'll be the difference between playing this passage good enough and improving your technique, or playing it like a pro and improving as a musician. And before we wrap up, I told you there's a common mistake that can make you reach a plateau very soon in your progress, and it can even hurt you physically. It's actually the first thing I correct in my students as soon as I notice it, because it can become a serious problem. I've even seen fellow pianists end up with upper back problems over time because of this. I'll tell you why it happens and how to solve it. Do something for me right now. I want you to raise your shoulders as if you are shrugging. But try to keep them raised for a moment. I'll count 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does it hurt already? You can relax now. Anyway, I've seen even advanced pianists keep their shoulders like this for the duration of a whole sonata. You've been like this for 5 seconds and it already hurts. Can you imagine being like this for 25 minutes straight every time you play? You'll make your physical therapist a millionaire. So why do we raise our shoulders when we play? The answer is one word: control. Raising our shoulders is our body's response to a stressful situation. It comes from evolution. If you get into a fight, you want to protect your neck. Now, we are not fighting anyone, but when the situation you're dealing with is not under your control, you'll trigger that response. It's especially common when you were practicing a passage slowly and comfortably and you try to play it faster for the first time. Playing faster is harder, we all know that. It's not totally under your control, and if you're not careful and you do it a few times like this, your muscle memory will learn to raise your shoulders every time you arrive at that passage. The solution for that is to make a habit of checking your shoulders when you practice. It should be like checking your mirrors when you're driving, something you do constantly and it gets automatic. And pay special attention if you're playing something for the first time, because you'll tend to do this. So now, if you're determined to learn this epic ending and become not only a faster pianist but also a better musician, check out the link in the description and get yourself the learning guide I created for you. Combine this practice plan with everything you've learned in this video and that's a recipe for success. And if you thought this was the end, you're wrong. There are a few more technique tips that can help you play faster, and they are all in this video here. If you're gonna learn this Chopin passage, definitely check it out. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and see you over there.